What's good, y'all? I thought I'd jump on here and give you today's LDR takes on today's news. I would have had this done earlier, but the news cycle kept changing and shifting, which means I had to, go back, rewrite, decide what I was going to cover. So I'm going to make this brief. I'm going to just jump off into it. So, first thing I want to just give a brief mention to is tonight is the NFL draft. So, all I'm going to say about that is the draft also serves to some as a prelude to my husband is getting on my nerves with his fantasy football season. Yes. That's all I'm going to say about the NFL draft. Some people might find that some funny. Some people might find it annoying. But hey, for some people, it's very true. All right. Second thing, staying in the lane of sports, this one is actually probably going to be a little sports heavy today, is Lamar Jackson. Kudos to that brother. He has been telling the Baltimore Ravens for over a year and some change now, F you, pay me, and they finally did. So I'm happy for him. He is now the highest paid player in the NFL. His deal surpasses the one that Jalen Hurts just signed. So literally, Jalen walked so Lamar could run, and both of them are running all the way to the bank. So good for that brother. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Know your value. When you know your value and you know your worth, do not settle. Only settle when you know you about to get what you rightfully deserve. So it seems like Lamar has gotten that. The deal is for 5 years, $260 million, and $185 million of that is guaranteed. This deal, with his yearly salary average being about $52 million, is the highest ever in NFL history. So you go on ahead. You did that, Lamar. All right. Third thing that I want to touch off on, and as I said, this one is kind of going to be very sports heavy up front, is Brittney Griner. So Brittney Griner, as you know, was detained in a Russian prison for over 10 months. She's been back home since December. So today was her first time addressing the media since she's been home. The Pressy had, and when I say Pressy, that means press conference, had 500 media outlets. Nothing has been covered like that in women's basketball ever with that much media, anything like it. She even made reference to it about, wow, like she was taken aback by how many media outlets were there. She thanked the media for all the coverage that they gave to her detainment, keeping her name in the news. She was very thankful to them for that, and also, asked them that they continue to give light and coverage. Let's extend this to the actual WNBA as a sport in the season. So she did make that plea to them as well. She thanked everybody under the sun. The White House, Biden, VP Harris, the Mercury organization, of course, her wife, everyone. She was very grateful and thankful for everyone's support. She seemed to be in good spirits. She looked well. She looked healthy. She was cracking jokes. So, I'm just happy that this sister is home and that she's going to get back to her life and, understanding it's a process and a journey, but it seems like she's well on her way. And, I'm also going to make the plea to y'all as well. Please support the WNBA. Season kicks off in May. Actually, Brittney Griner goes up against the Sparks May 19th. I think that's like the first game of the season. It kicks off the season. And if you can't be in LA to see it live and in person, you can watch it. It'll be on ESPN. So I ask you, and I make that plea to you guys as well, please support women's basketball. Please support the WNBA. Situation like Brittney Griner's would not have happened if she didn't need to go overseas to supplement her income because the players don't make enough money here. So if we support, they'll get they'll get more sponsorship. The ratings will go up, which all in all means more money. So I'm gonna leave that there. But I'm still gonna stay in the lane of women's basketball. So Haley Van Lith, for those of you, that name might sound familiar, and that's because she was played during the NCAA women's tournament for Louisville, and she was the player that Caitlin Clark from Iowa went in her face and did the Tony Yayo, you can't see me. Well, she has now transferred to the national champions, LSU. She will be playing for LSU next season. She has clicked up now with Angel Reese and Flage, so I'm expecting the women's college basketball season to be just as exciting as it was this past season. So, I'm once again telling y'all, watch it, support. LSU plays in the SEC, which has Ole Miss was on the rise, and, the former national champions, South Carolina Gamecocks. So I expect the play to be great, and I encourage y'all to watch it. I think probably in the preseason rankings, Louisville will either be like 1 and 2. Not Louisville. LSU will be either 1 or 2 with Connecticut. They'll probably be interchangeable. So it's going to be a hot season. I'm looking forward to that. The next thing that I want to jump off into is Jerry Springer. As I'm sure many of you guys have heard, Jerry Springer passed away. It was announced all over the news today. So, Jerry Springer, whether positively, which I'm sure most people will say there's not a lot of positive, and I'm sure more people would say negatively, but he definitely contributed to the culture. He is the daddy of reality television. You don't get reality television if you first didn't have Jerry Springer. For a generation, daytime television is synonymous with the following things: soap operas, Price is Right, commercials like, commercials from Survival Insurance, ITT, Everett's College, and Jerry Springer. What can you say? It was obnoxious, over the top, but it was the train wreck you couldn't stop watching. People like Andy Cohen, Mona Scott, Bravo, and VH1 should all be literally sitting down somewhere saying, "Thank you, daddy, daddy, daddy," because if it wasn't for Jerry, they would not be getting paid like they are for the antics that they produce, sell as television packages and shows that so many of us, and I'm just saying us generally, I'm not pegging anybody, us are consuming and are addicted to. So, I'll leave that there. So rest in peace, Jerry Springer, and, condolences to your family and loved ones. The last thing that I'm going to speak on, and it's not going to get the same lovely, fluffy wording and, condolences as I did for Jerry Springer, but Carolyn Bryant Donham passed away. And so that name might ring a bell for some people, but if it doesn't, I will give you the summary. She is the woman that accused Emmett Till of making advances to her, which is what ultimately led to him being kidnapped and lynched in Mississippi in the 1960s. And as many of you know, this is one of the things that served as a catalyst for the civil rights movement, was the death of Emmett Till. So this woman, in her timely passing, should have been arrested and charged and stood trial for Emmett Till's murder, just like the other ones did. She probably wouldn't have been convicted, as they weren't either. But there was a warrant that was issued for her arrest, that was written out, warrant that was signed by the clerk, that was never served to her when Emmett Till was murdered. They had charges up against her for manslaughter and kidnapping, but the warrant was never served. And the discovery was most recently found, maybe like a few years ago, that this warrant even existed. A filmmaker was doing, his research and going through documents or whatever, and found the warrant. Like, it's literally a warrant, like a piece of paper, like this warrant that he found, that wasn't delivered and had notes on it and everything. So in the past couple of years, they were trying to, the family, was making a case to have her indicted. Yeah, she was old, but they were like, "Nah, you don't get a pass on this. You killed somebody. Like, you don't get a pass. We don't care how old you are. We don't care if you're sick or whatnot. You're going to have to assume responsibility for what you did." So what ended up happening, it went to a grand jury. The grand jury decided not to indict. So she got off. Well, she was already off, but there was no accountability. So I just wanted to put that out there for those who have been following this. She gone now. She gone. And all I have to say about her passing is, for those of you who know this scene, and if you don't know it, you can look it up. Go look up Samuel L. Jackson in A Time to Kill, when he is on the witness stand and he's being cross-examined, and what he said. That is basically my feelings about that woman. and what she did and her passing. So that's all I got for today on the news takes. I hope you enjoyed it. If like I said, if you guys want me to continue to do these, please let me know. I welcome your feedback. What I could do better, what you want to see more of. And if you're feeling it, please like, follow, share. Yes, I have to do the call to action plug. That's what you're supposed to do with these things. All right, so until next time, y'all be well. Y'all be blessed. Peace.